Ava was still up, and I said, "Girl, what are you doing?" She like, "I'm in your business. I'm in your
Yes.
That's what
business."
she
So
said.
I guess
Listen.
she was foreshadowing
Yes,
what
she
was happening
was.
today.
You
Yes.
know, it's like me and Ava are like always on the same
Here we go.
wavelength. You
And you
know,
should have been like, you in my business. Don't do
Don't do
that.
that.
Yes.
First of all, let me tell you, when I left today, or when we left, she had on a shirt and it says you can do hard things, and it was green and had some pink, and she was gonna put on some pink pants. I said, Sherry will never get to look at changing pants. Put on black. We're not. You're not gonna be in your pink and your green and your green and your
And
pink.
your green
she
and your
can add a
pink.
little black for decoration.
I
You know
mean,
what?
But it's the pink and the green for me. It's the green and the
Here we
pink.
go. Here we go.
It's,
Jesus.
you know,
Hey.
hey, you can't take it out of her. It's in her. It's already in her. The foundation has been made. The die has been cast. The decision has been made.
All right, with these alternative facts. All right. Okay, boomer.
She will.
Listen.
Look.
Listen, Ava, you already know what's good.
Right.
Okay.
You know, when it's on the blue light, the blue light
Okay,
was right.
I'm
There was
just
nothing else
saying.
for her to choose from.
Marquette.
Just saying.
Gonna be
no, no,
a
no.
Marquette student.
You know, and moving on. Because of the amount of it now you have. I hope we're going to see if these AN cards going to help with the
There
denial.
we
that
go.
you're
We'll
in.
see.
We'll see. Let's go. We gonna jump right into it.
Yeah, why not?
All right,
You know,
let's do
unless
it.
we're coming up on a commercial,
Nope.
but you'll let us know.
I will let you know. We got 13 minutes.
All right,
Let's
so-
jump right into it.
We were talking about what Brittany was not facing.
Okay, yeah. when we last left off.
Yeah, so let's pick up there. So
Well, we gotta
again,
bring
these
up old
are
stuff.
so again, these cards are the and this is the healing edition. You can find them on Amazon.
Prime. Get them
Yes.
in 2 days.
Only Prime.
Okay.
You're
Amazon,
not-
cut the check.
Okay.
cut the check.
Please.
Please cut the check. So yeah, so the card that we pulled, and it's for everybody, right? But we're going to talk about what we're not facing. I have some other cards as well, but I thought that was a good space to start because that is where we ended. And you know, the reason why I think it's such an amazing question is because a lot of times we only deal with stuff when we have to, right? Because it's like right there. So it's like, okay, now ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
Come on, Lauren.
Literally Lauren Hill, right? Got to deal with it right now. But when things aren't immediate or where we don't perceive that they're urgent or important at the moment, it's easy to bury, it's easy to hide, it's easy to tuck it away. You know, so what are we not facing?
So what had happened was, I think, we ended on this, and I'm pretty sure I said me. I wasn't facing myself. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a lot going on, so it's probably 17 more answers since then. But I think part of the pandemic and just in general made me realize that I'm busy all the time. And sometimes it's like, girl, are you busy avoiding you? Like, because it's not that the things that I'm doing are not also productive or they're not good, but have you spent time with you? Have you checked in with you? And if, like, I have not been looking at me like, oh, I can see all the errors here or there or with work, or let me be the good mom and let me be the good wife. But, like, have I been good for me and figuring out,
Right.
like, who I actually am or who I want to be if I'm not that person? And what am I doing daily? And like recently I said I have been reading Atomic Habits, and he talked about just like getting 1% better each day. And it's
Right.
not that he said it was not like your goals are not valid and things like that, but it's that our systems are not set up. And it's like, okay, if this what you said, is this what you really want? What are you doing to reflect that? Like your mama's, make it look like it.
Look, that's what Mama Barb said, honey. She said, make it look like it.
Yes. So I think I had been not facing myself, and I don't think I realized the extent until like the world shut down and it stopped. And then, see the picture, and it's like, oh, I don't gotta be like, I haven't even been facing myself physically, not let alone mentally and spiritually. So I'm so busy doing everything for everyone else. I don't know if that has caused me to like not face myself, or I made myself busy with those things so I didn't have to face
Right.
myself. I don't know, the verdict's still out on that. We'll see what my therapist says, which one it was.
So it could go either way. You want to hedge any bets?
Hey, listen. Well, get your odds on, because I don't know which one it could be. But no, that was good, and I absolutely did leave off on that question. I think for me, in similar fashion, I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I'm a barrier, so I don't really stop to take a kind of invoice of what's going on and to properly like assess and, feel whatever I need to feel in that moment. I'm just like, okay, Barry, go. Like, you just got to keep going. So I think that's what I have not been doing, is feeling my feelings. It takes a lot for me to cry when I know I'll be needing to. Like, I feel like I am pretty sensitive, but I think my trauma response has been to like, nah, like, you gotta board it up. Like, you can't let people see you like defeated or sad. So I'll like block it out. So I won't even give myself the opportunity to cry. Like, even if I'm frustrated or, I really am sad. Like, I think like my uncle passed away, I didn't cry at all. Like, I just didn't. Or like I'll hear my mom cry, and I think when I was younger, like seeing my mom cry would instantly like just make me bawl. Like I would be like, oh my god. But just recently, like she shed some tears as we were talking. And it was just like I couldn't even let myself like get there. I was just like, nope, I gotta be strong. I gotta keep going. Like I gotta tell her. But it's just like at what point am I going to break? And it's gonna be like at such an inappropriate moment because I've let it build and build and build. Where I'm just gonna be like, and just bust out crying. They'll be like, God, we just asked you, did you want strawberry cheesecake or cherry? Like, what's your issue?
It's too much.
Right.
Okay.
It's too much.
Ma'am, you can't have both. You can't have both.
Right. Yes, and I'm just going to go off the deep end. So I think I've been trying to put myself in spaces where I can feel, so like was it this weekend or yesterday or whatever, one of these days, like I just sat and watched a movie. So I watched A Journal for Jordan, which is really a sad movie if you haven't seen it.
Is that what Michael B. Jordan?
It is.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
With
I'm
anything that
side-eyed.
he's in, I'm going to watch
watched
it.
A Journal for Jordan because I was trying to heal.
That was a plus that he was in the movie. But the movie is really sad, and I had not known the extent of like military loss until like seeing that movie. Like it really put it in perspective for me. Like, wow, these people go and they love their country so much and they want to serve their country. And then they don't even make it back home. And then, the girlfriend, they were engaged and she was pregnant with their kid and like he just died. And I like cried my eyes out because I was like, that is so sad. So like just giving myself the space and the moment to feel what I was feeling and to allow myself to cry. So I think I need to get better at that, of just finding the space that it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel how you feel. Because I feel like I'm good at telling everybody else that, but then I don't give myself that same grace to do that.
Man, look, I'm going to answer this question, and then we're going to talk about, why are we doing these things?
Yeah.
And, two, I would ask both of y'all, what do you think I'm not facing, right? I'm going to try to answer it, but, how we do. Right? I might still be avoiding, even in the answer. But I think it's similar to what you're saying. Like, I think that I want to schedule the feeling. Usually I am really good about reflection but I do it on my own terms. Like I do it when I'm ready to do it. I do it when I want to do it. Even on the last episode, I think even in my Breaking Bread or Toaster, one of them, I said like, yeah, there's some stuff going on with my family, but child, that ain't none of my business, right? And it's like, is that a defense mechanism? Like what's really going on there? But I think that for me right now, like there's just so much stuff going on with my family, and I'm just like I'm trying to figure out, how do I really feel about it? Is it really, because I'm trying to do this new thing where I literally mind my own business, right? Because what I've been finding is that when other people have catastrophes or whatever's going on in their life, I hate seeing people in pain. So I want to fix it. I want to do something. I want to somehow participate in the mending of that. But I felt like that is actually a distraction for me, right? Because it's like, what about you?
Who's taking care
of right.
you? Yeah.
Your own life is in shambles.
Yeah.
So why are you prioritizing this other situation above your immediate need? And so literally at this point, I don't know if me saying that's none of my business is me saying I'm the priority, I'm taking care of me, and I don't have the capacity, or if that's just another scapegoat.
That's good.
I saw this thing recently, and it made me think, and I was like, which one am I? and he was talking about like us fixers and when people have pain or issue and we jump to fix it and like initially you're thinking I'm doing this because I don't want them to hurt. And the flip side was like, is it that you don't want them to experience that, or is it uncomfortable for you? You need things to not be happening, so you have to fix it to make yourself comfortable. It's not really about what they're going through. If I can fix this, then y'all can stop coming to me with it. So I'm like, am I fixing it for them or for me? I don't
I
know.
think that when you're not the one in the situation, it's easier for you to solution.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when it doesn't involve
So
you.
it feels like, well, that's something that I can actually influence. I can
Yeah.
actually control this situation that you got going on. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean it's not catastrophic and it's not hurtful and it's not, life altering to you, but I can see
You
it.
can see it clearly.
Because I'm on the outside.
Because I'm on the outside, not
Yeah.
because I'm that much better, right? It's
Yeah.
literally just I have a different perspective, so I can offer that. But I also feel like, because even like this weekend, I was like, oh my God, what the hell happened to my calendar? And I was like, didn't I have some time for me penciled in? Because I felt like I was just going. And then I was just like, girl, we about to have to check the calendar for the next upcoming months because this cannot happen again, because, and don't get me wrong, I had a blast.
Listen, it was lit.
Time of my life.
Good times.
But it's also like I want to make sure that that I'm not avoiding me. So, and then too, you don't get to plan catastrophes and how people react and respond and what people do and the choices people make and then the impact that has. And and Chanel and I actually on the last episode we stood outside probably for an hour talking about these situations that I said was none of my business.
Our whole life. Listen, our whole life. But I think for you, it's a little twofold. Like, I can see that you want to take care of yourself, like you got to. But I think in that, then that's a trauma response from what you've gone through in the past, if that makes sense. Like, I know what this is like. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand. I don't want to be a part of that again.
That is true. I agree with you. I do think that for this particular family situation, I'm like, you know what? That was traumatizing.
Yeah.
No thanks. Don't want to relive that.
Yeah.
Avoid.
Yes. By any means.
By any means necessary.
I
agree.
I cannot. I got to remove myself.
I agree.
But a lot of it, I think it goes back to the point that Brittany was making, that you are a fixer too, because I mean,
I hate that.
I know.
Like, I really do.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's like, but like you said, then who's fixing me? Like, I'm fixing
and that's
everybody.
the thing. I was listening to this
But who's
person.
fixing
They
me?
were like, for the fixers, it was like, you'll take somebody to the hospital, stay with them every day and every night, but you can't get a person to drop you off.
Listen.
At the hospital.
Listen.
And I'm like, and they were like, the problem is, and that's what I'm trying to balance too.
Yeah.
Is who am I sewing into?
Yeah.
Right? Because what she was talking about is, you know what? You can be a good seed sowing into bad ground. Right? And she was like, you need to make sure that it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
Right? Not tit for tat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But reciprocity.
Yeah.
Because, okay, if I'm going to break my neck and be here for you, the least you can do is drop me off, literally.
Listen, you got to be able to do.
Right.
Do what I need you when I need you to do it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be mindful of that as well. And all of that is new territory.
Yeah.
Because I lack boundaries. So,
Baby,
but I feel like recently I've been trying to face the fact that I lack boundaries, right? Like, I've been trying to set up some parameters. You know?
And I think that's a trial and error thing. Like, no one is going to be like, put this boundary in place. And now this very first time it's successful and I have boundaries mastered.
Exactly.
I think as you continue to grow, new boundaries will be formed, and like things that was previously a boundary may not be. So I learned this weekend that the boundaries I thought I had, now that I'm physically here with my family.
Right. You did a lot of big talk.
I
You said what you wasn't going to do.
Hold up.
And now here you are
I
doing
said, girl, let me text my therapist. Girl, listen. I ain't as healed as you thought I was. Girl, put me back on the books.
Oh my
Make that
God,
appointment
look.
recurring.
I'll be there in 2 weeks, okay?
Yeah,
Look.
but even like you said, like recognizing it. Like I started running and I said, hey, Brittany, you said you weren't going to do this. Someone says like, can you come? I'm not going to be able to do that. Like if you get out here, sure, we can hang, but no, I'm not doing that. So I started running and I kind of reeled myself back in. I mean, I still ain't got no boundaries, but we working on it.
We're working on it.
It's all good. So we're at our very first break. It comes so fast. So thank you all for tuning into Brunch with Besties show. We will be right back very shortly.
Welcome back to Brunch with Bestie Show. I am Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations. We are back with Fit Brit, aka B Hump, aka Bestie, aka Skinny Minnie.
All that.
Look, I receive. I receive.
And we were talking about how me and Brittany like boundaries and how Chanel buries things.
Oh yeah. That was a good summary. There we
That's
go.
pretty much what we said.
Awesome. Yes. Perfect.
So yeah, so then the question would be why are we not facing it? Like why are you burying? Why are me and you saying that what we ain't gonna do, but then we keep doing it?
I think mine is still kind of like, again, avoiding me, because if I let y'all stress me out with y'all stuff, then I don't have to take the time to sit
Right.
and unpack and deal with my stuff and myself. So yeah, I'm busy and I'm helping and y'all wear me out, but then I ain't got to sit and really do the work. Again, like I said, the perspective. I can see y'all situations. Yeah, my boundaries are being crossed, but I can figure out y'all problem is something I got a solution to. My problem,
I
I'm
have no
avoiding
clue.
it because I ain't got the solution.
I don't have the answer.
But maybe if I actually just start facing it, I could probably come up with an answer, or at least rule out some things.
Right.
That's too much like right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was gonna say for me, I think it's because it's a habit, so it's like a natural reflex.
That's
It's like,
good.
oh, such and such needs me. I need to help them, right? I will say this. I think that sometimes my help is a trauma response. You know, going back to what Chanel said, like that triggered another thought because I've had several times in my life when I felt like I needed help and people did not help me. So when people fix their mouth to actually say that they need help, I feel like I need to like rain, sleet, shine, snow, depression, headache, on my deathbed, I do not care. I'll
Yeah.
be there. And then the other thing is, I also feel like if I can see that you need help,
Yeah.
I don't even honestly want you to have to ask me. Like if I can see that, I feel like it's the obvious thing to do.
We're the same
So
person.
I have a difficult time being aware of someone's pain and not trying to solution and not trying to offer some sense of compassion.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm a human being, and literally, I think I literally share that sentiment of like when somebody hurts, I hurt. Like I
Yeah.
feel your pain. Like I'm a human being. You know.
I don't think it's like, okay, not life or death, but one revelation that I did end up having, going through therapy and things like that. So my biological father, was murdered when I was 8, and the day that this happened is very vivid. I was out here, top Girl Scout, cookie seller, all the badges. I was the girl. And that day, I was a latchkey kid. The cookies came home, and my mom was really mad or whatever because I called like, "Hey, Daddy's gonna, I'm come get." She's like, "You call him before you call me." You know the rules. You ain't supposed to do that. So, for whatever reason, later I found out they was beefing, but I didn't. We didn't do our normal thing. He didn't come. So I think a part of my trauma response is like, had I did the thing, like had we been normal and he came, then he wouldn't have been home and then he would have been killed. So
Right.
now if when people ask me for something or if I commit to something, like you said, it really doesn't matter. Like, no, I'm going because and not that I think and it's my fault, my daddy. Like it ain't that deep, but I realize that
But you think
now
about, okay, well, what's the impact of
if
me
me not
not
going. So I
doing
gotta show
it?
up because then
Yeah.
if I don't do it, what is that impact and where does that down the line? And I was just like, so I just this wow. I said, all right, girl, you done earned a little money with your degree. Go, we gonna take a break.
Right. Look.
I said, wow, this, and I was like, so this response, like post his death, has been who I became. Who am I even? Who was I
Who
without
was I
this?
before that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or who would you be had that
Yeah,
tragedy not happened?
yeah, child.
That's deep. But it always goes back to that our child selves, our children selves, our younger selves. All of what we do and how we think it all goes back to that. Which also brings me to well, brings me to mine as well. So I think for me, just burying stuff, it was just it's been easy for me to do that because I'm like, well, I can't deal with this right now because I don't want to face myself in that moment. Or just because it's easier for me not to do the work, so I'm just putting it off. And I think,
So you procrastinating
yeah,
the healing.
I'm procrastinating the healing. Absolutely. And that's a lot of that comes from my younger self as well, where I just felt like I had to do everything right. Like I had to stay out of the way because sometimes in my house it was like too much going on at one time. So it was like it's easier for me to just be out of sight, out of mind. So a lot of times I would just be like, just doing my own thing over here in the corner, but don't worry, like
Don't look over there.
don't look. So just keep yourself occupied over here. Everything's gonna be all right. So I think that's where mine comes from, to just not deal with it, because it's just like, no, if you deal with it, then you got to walk through the fire, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Fire burns.
Yeah, it's gonna burn. But at some point, I have to start walking through the fire. I have to feel, what I need to feel in that moment. And, now as a mom, like I have to show my kid that it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to face things head on, even if it's uncomfortable, but it's okay to do that. So I think that's something I'm still learning. I could be totally better at it. But I think this past year totally made me realize it, just after me talking to my dad and kind of uncovering that, to be like, okay, well, you have to face this part. Like, you got to talk to him. You have to take this step to do that. I think that opened me up a little bit to be like, girl, you don't even be crying. Like, are you ever going to do that? Like, what's the issue there? So I think that's what made me think about that. And, then talking to my dad and figuring that out, like I was crying like a lot at that point. And then it slowly started to go back into my old ways where it's just like, okay, well, you don't have time for that. Like, you can't sit with this. Because then I felt like you just holding on to it. And I don't know why I think like this, but I'm just like, just get over it already. Like, you got to be done. And that's another thing where I'm just like, well, how long you gonna keep holding on to this? And it's like, all right, you had the conversation, you talked to your dad, you know, you're figuring stuff out, but okay, move forward. And I think that's a little bit of the Capricorn in me too. Like I just want to be done. I want to be to the next phase and to be out of that space. So it's a lot, child, with me as to why I'm like that. And I feel like, yeah, it's definitely holding me back in a lot of aspects because it's hard for me to really open up and express how I'm feeling when I'm feeling it. So, yeah.
I mean, like logically, it makes sense. Like, I don't like how this feels. I want to be done.
Yeah.
Right. So next,
Yes.
like that makes sense. But then you right? You're like you have the foresight to see that okay, this makes it difficult for me to express myself, or I'm actually not done. I'm holding
Yeah.
on to stuff, right? So how do I be done? Is to actually walk through the fire, which is uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I even remember like saying that. Like I remember like I was at home talking to a guy today who kind of started this whole journey with me talking to my dad. But I was just like bawling. Like I don't think I've ever cried like that, but just really like crying. Like them cries where you be like, like you can't
Right.
breathe, cry. I was just like,
Yes.
what the WTF? Like you're watching me do this. Like this is so embarrassing. And I kept saying like, I want to be done. Like I want to not cry no more. Like I want to stop now. And he was like, bro, you're okay. Like you can cry. And I was still like, nope, I want to be done.
I'm stopping effective immediately.
Right?
And
Pass me the tissue. It's done.
Like
I
now,
wiped. Right.
I'm done. Like we can't keep doing this. Like you're not gonna see me like this. So I think, yeah, that's just that my response where it's just like, nah, like it's other fires happening. Like we can't focus on you right now. Like you push to the side because there's some other stuff happening.
So then my question would be to all of us, including myself, why are we not worth being the priority? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that both in my response, your response, and Brittany's response, we're like, well, we ain't got time. Like, but this something else is more important than this right now. Like, you know what I mean? Because to me, it kind of, it makes me feel like everyone else's problem is worth it.
Yeah, but not ours.
But my problem isn't. And I even remember, like, I'll just use my first ex-boyfriend, for example, because, you know, he makes for great examples on this podcast.
I mean, it's great content.
Hey, amazing
Hey.
content. Thank you, sir.
Just saying.
But, like, even I remember in the breakup with him, I felt I felt like he got a lot of audacity because he had the nerve to call me and say, what about this person? What about that person? And I was like, nigga, what about me? Like, literally, the whole reason. I'm literally telling you, we're breaking up because this relationship is hurtful and destructive to me. And you got the nerve to tell me, what about your kid?
And your
What
people,
about your mama?
people. Exactly.
F all of them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, like, look, don't get me wrong, love the kid, whatever. But the point is, what about me?
What
But
about
then,
me?
like,
Yeah.
that actually shows up later in my life where people have the nerve to tell me, well, what about them? And I'm like, so clearly I've taught you because I keep prioritizing you, right? And I could be mad at you all I want, right? And I said even to myself, like, he got a lot of audacity.
Yeah.
This person got a lot of audacity. But then the truth is, okay, but you, Sherry Renee, taught them
That it was okay.
that their well-being, that their feelings are superior to yours, that they are the priority because you continue to prioritize their feelings. So they are actually shocked that you would walk away from them because for the first time, you're prioritizing you. So it is indeed shocking to them.
Listen.
And that's why they respond as such.
Listen.
And you're like the gall.
Listen.
Right, the unmitigated gall, because it makes no logical sense. But to them, it's also a pattern.
Yeah. This has been the norm
Right?
for them.
So now that you have the gall to try
Yeah.
to break the cycle, it's shocking.
It's like, wait
So they're like,
minute.
hold on.
hold up.
Because they're
Yeah.
like, this is not our course of dealing. This is
Yeah.
not how we operate. I tell you that I'm hurting, you react and respond.
'Cause
And
it's
you
been
make
about
it
me.
better.
Yeah. Yep. Because it's been about me.
It's been about me.
Yeah.
So then my question is,
We're
for
effy.
all of
What
us,
about what I need?
hello. Hello. So then the question becomes, how come your feelings get buried? Why do your feelings have to be the ones that's put away to the side? Why can't you cry? Why don't you deserve? Because if I broke down crying right now, don't get me wrong, you would be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
But because even when, like, we were talking about how when we were on campus freshman year, this girl broke into our room. She didn't break into our room. Our room was unlocked.
We used to leave the door
because
locked all the
Sherry Renee
time.
used to lose the key.
We
okay?
both did. We used to lock
You
ourselves
did?
out
Girl, I didn't
every
know. Thank
day.
you.
Yeah.
Because I never could keep up with that key. So we left the door unlocked. This girl came into our room in the middle of the night and was like laying on the floor and she was crying, but she was like trying to get in your bed and you thought it was me and you were like, are you okay? Why are you crying? Like, you had all this compassion. And then I was like, who is she talking to? Because it's only two of us in this room.
This story is so funny every time.
Shouts out to Marquette. Kobe.
Oh, man, true story. Yes.
So okay, but in that moment, why are my feelings a priority and important, but yours aren't? Why? How come what you need, Brittany, isn't the priority?
I think
It's question goes for me too. But why?
Because let me tell you something. I do not want to get up and go to the gym or do nothing. But let me hear a whimper of Ava. Baby, I'm out that bed so fast. It's like,
Yeah.
so I can't get, or I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I ain't finna get up. But let me hear anything from Ava. Baby, I'm up.
Yeah.
I think it's what we were taught. We weren't in it. It's what was shown to us. And
Yep.
it's a message that society gives, especially as Black women. But we saw our parents, our mothers, working hard and sacrificing everything to make sure that we were straight. They wasn't tired. They wasn't sick. They just did what needed to be done. So, at least for my mom, so that taught me your love. I know you love me by the sacrifices that you made. So it was, I'm going to do this thing even if it's a hindrance to me, even if it hurts me, even if I don't want to do it. That's how I'm going to show you my love. It doesn't matter what I actually want or need. I'm going to do the things that need to be done. And then also,
Even
don't
if it's to
complain
my
about it.
detriment.
Yeah.
Usually always to my detriment. ain't no benefit of it to me. But I'm going to do it because that's what we're supposed to
Yeah.
do. Because that's how we show our love.
But everybody don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's just the women that I've seen in my life.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah,
That's what they've done. So
her
this is what a
exposure.
woman
Yeah.
is. This is what a mom is. This is
Yeah.
what a wife is. Like this is what you do.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
the things you don't want to do. Girl, your happiness. Hopefully you get that, but girl, you have to do the things that got to be done.
Listen, your happiness actually doesn't matter.
She said, if it's a byproduct, you're lucky, but
Right.
that's not what we focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is making me think of all these memories and just things that happened when I was a kid. But I agree. I think it's our experiences and what we were exposed to. My mom is not a huge crier either. I think the first time I saw her cry was like 7 or 8 years old. Like, that's pretty old to like see your mom like cry. And she was still like not wanting to face me as she was crying. So she was still like, no, like, I'm okay, like wiping away tears. So I think that's my first memory of seeing my mom like show her own emotions. Aside from like, even at funerals too, like she'll just be like wiping away tears, but it was never like a I need to cry, like a cry. Not until like now I've seen her do that a couple times. But I think just growing up, it was just like, nah, like, we don't have time to cry, because then we got to make room for all the other fires that's happening around us. I can remember when my mom was like, I think my mom shared this on the podcast, or I don't know if I shared it, but my mom was dating this man. He broke into our house. He like tried to kill my mom. And this happened when I was like 8 too. I'm trying not to cry because yeah. But so he broke in our house, like literally tried to kill my mom. Luckily, my mom had went out with her friends the night before, so she had a few drinks. So she had the alcohol in her, which ultimately like saved her life, essentially.
From the pain.
Yeah, from bleeding out. Because it slows down the blood or whatever. So that essentially saved her life. But I remember when she was in the hospital, like, she didn't let us come see her or nothing. Like, I was with my Rose and my sister. I don't remember where my sister was, maybe with another family friend. But she was like, no, don't bring my kids up here. Like, they can't see me like this. So I did not see my mom. So I'm just going on about my day, like, at school, like, like, just living my best kid life, like, not really seeing the full extent of what happened. But then when she came home, I remember like trying to see her because you away from your mom for so long. You like, no, I want to see my mom now. Like, where's she
Yeah,
at?
like that was fun.
Yeah,
All right.
right. Y'all took me to the store.
Right.
Y'all bought me all this candy. Like that was
times.
fun.
But where my
But
mama?
I want my mama
Right.
now. So I remember like trying to peek in the room to see her, and I just remember like she had bandages like all on her head. I think she still had like on the hospital, or she had on a gown from what I remember, but she was just like, shut the door, like don't let her come in here. So like those are things that I remember from my own mom to be like, no, like I can't show up weak at this point. Like I can't show that. And I think for me, when I saw my mom start to show like more emotions, then I equated that with like weakness. Like I was like, oh, that's weak. Like you don't cry, like you don't do this. So when she finally started to show her emotions, which is totally normal, she should have. Like my mom is 60 something years old. So now she feels like I'm about to cry, I'm about to do whatever.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time.
Ain't nobody got time. Listen.
Get these tears.
Okay, you about to get it. And you about to hear why I'm upset. Like we gonna figure this
Right.
out. So she's very vocal in her emotions, which I'm proud of her for it. But like a couple years ago, like I just could not take her doing it. I'm like, this is weak. Like you being weak right now. And I couldn't. And I feel so guilty saying it now and like being an a-hole about it. But it was like she wasn't being weak. Like this is normal. Like this is what she should have been doing. So I think that too is a part of my wanting to bury and not like show my emotions, because it's like, oh, I'm being weak right now. Like I can't do it because it's some other stuff that's in my head more important, but it's not. Like it's really not. So I think me not putting myself first is what I was shown to not. Like I need to worry about everybody else, or just make sure everybody else is good in my own way, or just not even make sure everybody else is good, but like let me stay to the side. Like I'm kind of in the background, just doing my own thing.
I think the same. Like I can, to this day, can count on one hand how many times I've seen my mother cry.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I equated tears with weakness, but for me it was a waste of time, because now that I'm done crying, I still got to fix this problem. So the time that I spent crying, I could have been resolving whatever I was crying about. So I used to didn't get it when people cried, and it's just like, okay, so we gonna cry or we gonna fix it. So like productivity, end result, that was what was important. It didn't matter feelings, and it's like, oh, crying actually serves a purpose, and I'm learning that now. But it's like, oh, I don't cry because my friend lost a baby and I started bawling, and like I don't even know where all these tears came from. And it's like once I start crying, I just could not stop.
Ooh.
And it's like, girl, when was the last time you cried? You probably cried since your granny funeral. That was in 2015. Like, girl, you do not be crying. And because I'm like, what is it going to do? What is it going to get me? And learning that, but learning new things now. But yeah, it was like, why?
So then the question would be, do you think other people are weak when you see them cry? Or wasting time? Yes, you do. You're like, girl, you gonna fix it or what?
Yeah. And I used to, but now I to be honest, yes, I used to like crying. Like we don't do
What
that.
is that?
Hold up. But I mean, I could show empathy to them, but in my head, it's like, no, I don't do that. Like, I ain't got it in me to be crying. But now it's like, dang, like, I wish I could cry. Like, get me there. I was to the point where I hadn't cried in so long, where I was literally like, I want to. Like, in my head, like, I want to cry. I need to get this out. And I just could not do it. Like, at all. Like, not shed a tear or anything. And, yeah. Like that's crazy to get to a point where your body is like even rejecting it.
Your body's like, what is this thing?
Yeah, like
That's not
coming up.
yeah, tear ducts. Like you don't even need
They're
to
clogged.
use it, right? They're clogged. Like what is that? So I was to the point where I hadn't cried in so long, where I was like praying and wishing for that to come, because I knew my body needed to have that release. Like I needed to do it, and I just couldn't do it.
Why do you think for you?
I think so. I actually cry. Like I do cry. I think I cry a lot actually. Like I could watch episode. I cry at, look, okay, we went to the reunion at Marquette, and the first student body president
Oh,
came
yeah.
up, and the VP, and they were the first black, I should say, first black student body president, just elected this year. And the VP was in tears, like she was so emotional. Just seeing, I'm very empathetic. I'm very empathic, I should say, right? If I see somebody cry, I am in tears. I don't even have to know why we crying. I'll be like, why we crying? Because the thought or the inkling that somebody is hurting, it elicits that type of response. Do I think it's productive? In the past, no. Like I actually wanted to be like, now's not a good time to cry. If we could do that on Saturday.
Gotta pencil it in.
Right. If you could put that on the
Who
calendar.
said this today? I'll say that.
know.
Like I gotta schedule my breakdown.
You gotta schedule it. It's just inconvenient right now. Got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I have always been very like they tried to whip my puppy, and I was like, "What is y'all doing?" And he whimpered, and I was like, "Oh no!"
I just want to reflect on her puppy.
Yes.
Oh,
I just
my
wanna
they
puppy.
tried to whoop
They
Monsieur
tried
Philippe.
to, yes,
Oh,
Monsieur
Lord,
Philippe.
Devon.
Devontae.
No.
Monsieur Devon.
Oh my God, whatever. But I will say, I think that, the base of the question is really like, why am I not the priority?
Yeah.
And I think it's because that's how I felt as a child. I think I felt like I was certainly in the way. I certainly felt unwanted. I certainly felt like things would be so much better if I were not here. Like I'm literally in the way. I didn't really feel, I felt like my mother really prioritized my brother, and in some regards she should have, things were going on. But I think that I carried that along with me. And I think that part of me wanting to be, or part of me wanting to help, or that being kind of ingrained in me is because it's like, I want to create value,
Yeah.
like I create worth. Right, like it's just because I'm here doesn't necessarily mean I'm worthy. Right, I have to like prove my worthiness. Right, so that's why now I think it's a habit and it's like a reflex. So I actually have to fight with myself sometimes. Like when I see people in pain or struggling, I'll be like, "This not your business. Did they say that? Should you?" Like it's a whole conversation in my head. Like, where's this coming from? What, is this a trauma response, or are you what are you doing? I have to like walk myself through it. And sometimes it's like, shut up, I'm going to help.
Right. Yes, it's a trauma response, and
I'm going to do it. I'm going to respond for my trauma. That's what it is.
Shut up,
right?
inner self. I'm going
to do it. And sometimes it's like, okay, maybe you can ask them how they're doing, or you
Yeah.
can check in with them, because when I help, I feel like I overgive, right? Like to the depths of my soul. Because what I don't want is for the other person to feel like they're not worthy of it. Especially like if something happened that I think could make them feel unworthy. Like if something happened and, like you talked about your father passing away, right? Like if I would have been there when your father passed away, I would have been like, everybody, we need to do this for Brittany. Like, get on board. This is a thing, or like any like milestone where it's like her dad can't be there. I would have been like, okay, my dad's in jail. He's not a good candidate. Any other dads? Any other dads? Okay.
We're gonna find
exactly. We're gonna find a suitable father. Until further notice, effective immediately, my brother will fill in
There we
until we
go.
can find. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I would have been like, okay.
filling in the
Can't,
gaps.
Yeah. Or like, whatever, things people have, things that happen, right, where I feel like people could feel like, dang, I really messed up, or dang, I'm unworthy, or dang, this makes me a horrible human being. Like, I feel like I have to compensate so hard for it, even though technically I don't, because it's actually not even my thing.
Yeah.
It's their thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I be trying to tell myself. Girl, this ain't your thing. You have nothing to do with why this happened, that happened, or this didn't happen, or whatever. It's actually none of your business.
Aw. Yeah.
So every day I literally tell myself, mind your business.
Listen, no, don't you dare. Don't do it, so.
But it's a fine line, because it's like, I think it is such a gift to help people and to, not leave them when
Yeah.
they need help.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you just be there, like, and that's one thing, like my grandmother, my mom's mom, if somebody is in the hospital, when I tell you she gonna be there, she ain't gonna say
Aw.
nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe she don't know what to say, I don't know, but she is
But
never
she's
gonna leave you alone in your misery. That's one thing that she's not gonna do. Like,
yeah.
rain, sleep, she gonna have to call somebody to give her a ride and pick
Aw.
her up, and it's a whole thing.
But she gonna be
She
there.
gonna inconvenience everybody to making sure that she's there,
But
because
she gonna be
that's
there.
how important it is to her.
Yeah. Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So she gonna be like, no, not like when my great grandmother was in the hospital. This is her ex mother-in-law. She
Oh,
would just go
wow.
and sit
Yeah.
at the nursing home.
Yeah.
Just go sit
Wow.
there with her.
I love that. All right, we coming into our next break again. They come so fast. But thank you for tuning in to Brunch with Bestie show. We will be right back.
Welcome to Brunch with Besties.
Hey guys.
I'm Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversations. Fit Brit is here with us, and she was just telling us that we suck. And it's okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
I didn't. But okay, y'all.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that, ultimately we teach people how to treat us.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's intentional or not, right, the impact is still there. And even I think we teach ourselves, like when you said like, oh, I'll go get up for Ava, but I won't get up for me. And it's like, okay, well, what about the commitments that we make to ourselves? Because when other people don't fulfill the commitments that they make to us, we be like, and they this and they that, and how come they didn't do this? And oh my God. But it's like, well, when they watch you not make the commitment to yourself, they're like, oh, she don't care. It'll be all right.
Exactly. Ooh, listen, me all the time. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, do this for yourself, child. So yes, I totally that resonates big time.
Yeah. So I feel like for me, it becomes like when I see certain things, it becomes a fight. Like I'd be like, just ask them how they're doing, and
Yeah.
that's okay, and that's it.
Girl,
Like
Stop
that's
there.
the boundary.
Yeah.
Stop there.
Yeah, stop there.
girl, and that's what my new thing is. I will not help unless there is a specific request made to me for help. Because like you, when I see something, it's not like, oh, you need a little help. Baby, I'm finna figure the whole thing out. I'm finna plan this, do this. And I'm gonna go over and above what you even wanted. And then I'm gonna be mad that you didn't follow through with this because I gave you this perfect plan and I helped you. And it's like, but did nobody even ask you for that, girl? But since I saw this as a solution, I decided, and this will work. So didn't nobody ask you for help? Or now I'm like, when my friends call, do you want to vent? Do you need advice? Do you just need me to listen?
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I have already figured out a solution in my
Right.
head, but you probably
But you may
didn't-
not. You may not be
need
there.
that. Or like when my siblings or something need, like when you ask me, or like, so what is it specifically you need from me?
Right.
And then I can just do that thing.
Why
If
are we
I can.
talking? Right.
Yeah.
Why are we having this conversation?
Listen.
Is this textable?
Okay, listen.
If you can't explain the question in a one sentence text, then it's too much. No. If you can't spit it out, no.
That is hilarious. Yeah, go on and let's do this a la carte. What do you need? Because I can't get it all right
Look,
now. That's
yeah.
out.
And then I think for me, like the boundaries thing is new. And I love how Robin says it, right? She says, my boundaries are for me,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
not necessarily for everybody else. It's really for me to manage myself in the way that I see fit. So sometimes it's not responding. Sometimes it's not answering the phone. Because I think that that's the thing too, is sometimes when you're too accessible, that becomes the expectation, right? It's like, oh, I need you. Okay, but I'm not here at the ready waiting on you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I actually, so it's like when I'm doing something else, I want to focus on that other thing,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's fair. That's why you didn't text me back today, huh?
Oh, child, there's probably 10 messages that there's people texting right now.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, and your work phone too. I'm
Really?
like, geez, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, that's a different, that's a whole different
Yeah,
boundary.
your work phone was doing numbers. Jesus.
Because this text thread, I'm like, Lord. So yeah, when I go through and catch up through the text threads, then I'll respond. Hopefully, it's nothing urgent.
No.
But I think that that's the thing too, is that I stopped treating. I'm trying to stop treating my phone like it's urgent, because it's like, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes it could be. Maybe it is. Maybe it is an emergency, but it's like it's probably their emergency.
Yeah.
That part. My old
That's the
pastor
part.
used to say, if someone calls you with an emergency and you don't answer, wait a day or two. They'll figure it out. Like if it's super urgent, okay, maybe they'll keep calling, but let other people get a chance to figure it out. I don't even allow them the chance. And I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna help. What do you need me to say? Okay, I can be. And it's just like, girl, all they did was told you what was going on.
Exactly.
That's
right.
it.
And then I was thinking, for somebody who don't have kids and don't have a husband, you can't be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you not everybody's emergency contact.
No,
You can't be.
You cannot.
You can't be.
No. Nope. I'm not going to be. That's out. Is what it is. Do you hear me? That is out.
Because then I like listen to some people, like, like coworkers, they'll be like, oh, this is my kids, I have to take this, right? Because it's like that's their boundary. Like, I'm present at work, but if my kids call, it's a wrap, right? Like, I got to figure out what's going on with the kids. And then I was thinking, like, that's interesting. I don't have children, but I still feel like, oh, what's going on? Such and such call. I got to figure this out. What's going? But it's like, no, you don't. They'll be all right.
Exactly.
They're a whole adult
Oh, wow.
that's been adulting, and I'm actually the youngest in most circles.
Exactly. Like, what?
So I'm pretty, like, they were here before you. They managed to figure it out at some point. They will be okay.
That is crazy. Like, thinking about it like that, then I'm just like, no. Like, the audacity again. Like, what?
But I mean, is it their audacity or is it my audacity?
That's what we taught them.
Is it what
Yes,
I taught
yeah.
them? You know what I'm saying?
But I
Yeah.
think even in this generation,
Wow.
we're so connected to our phones and devices
Yeah.
that people do expect immediate
Immediate,
responses. Because one, that's kind of what we do. But, like, don't let somebody text you and then you don't respond. You on Instagram, like I see you on, and I
And
am.
you know what? And then
it's my
people will
phone.
actually message you
On Instagram?
on Facebook and be like, "I text you." Okay.
Yeah, I hate that.
Synced it.
I synced it.
Right.
Did you hear me?
Look,
I synced it.
I did not respond.
Because I synced it.
Send. Right. Like.
I don't need to
text
respond.
you.
I synced it.
Okay.
Right. And then
I
too,
know.
most of the time, and you do this too, but most of the time my phone is actually on do not disturb. Because I'm like, whatever it is, it'll have to be okay. Because the other thing that I realized is that I'm part of so many group chats and threads and messages that literally it can feel like I'm running a hotline all day.
Yeah. Ooh. Yes. Yeah. And actually, Zeta taught me that. Like, my phone be on silent. Do not disturb. People be
All of
like,
the above. Flipped over.
On sleep. Yeah,
on sleep, flipped over, do not
Listen,
disturb,
backlight
silent,
turn all the way
all
down.
of it. Like,
everything.
no.
And people be like, you got a kid. Like, how? I'm like, well, my kid. Like,
He's grown, okay?
I mean, he's in my favorite. So if he calls, he'll get through. Like, certain people will get through. But nah, like, you got to protect your peace. And that's interesting.
Anyway, so she gonna
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if I answer, wow, like
And then 100 messages later, and then you realize that it all started from a meme, and you be like, oh, no. Ain't nobody got time for this.
Much. Baby,
Right.
at 8:00, this phone is on Do Not
I
Disturb.
swear.
I'll find out at 4 a.m. when I rise, whatever happened during the night.
Same. But sometimes, and it's bad. Like, sometimes I do feel obligated to respond, but it's just like, but why? Like, I don't have my red receipts on. Like, you don't know if I synced it or not.
I don't care if I do.
Mine is
And
on.
it's
Right. And you know what else is crazy? I do that at work too. So we have teams,
Oh.
right? And people always ping, and they'll go and then they'll add other people and then they want to keep going and they want a response right away. And it'll say that I'm in a meeting. So I'll tell them, please, I'll either remove myself from the chat or I'll tell them this looks like an email.
That's
Because I'm
crazy.
trying to set a precedence here. Because what you're not going to do is think that you can ping me, and no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to stop and respond to whatever it is that you have. This is your emergency, not mine.
Yeah.
Okay, if you need help, please put that in an email.
That,
Thank
yeah,
you.
That is crazy. Yeah, I've
And then I hate when
definitely-
people ping and they be like, "Hi, what do you want?
Like,
what do you want?
Right. Don't say hi.
We don't have time for pleasantries. Get to it.
Baby.
Listen, we
That is-
need
You got 5 seconds before I
Listen.
leave this chat.
Come on.
Because depending on what came after the high will let me know if I'm even going to respond
Exactly.
to you. So spit it out.
Otherwise, we gonna be sitting at the high.
Yeah.
Because for what? This could have
Or
listen,
ping,
this
hey,
is
I
not
sent your
important.
email. I sent it 30 seconds ago when it
Right,
came in.
exactly.
So
Oh my
either
god.
email me or ping me. You don't
So
need to
I don't
do both.
respond to those. And I did that because that's my boundary. I'm like, you know what? If you engage, because see, a lot of times we get mad at situations that happen, but we are playing a role because we are participating in the thing that we hate.
This is good.
Right? That's why I'm like, I'm really trying to make a conscious effort to break a lot of cycles. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I don't like that this person did this or that or said this or that or this is set up or this plays whatever. But then it's like, to what extent am I participating? Let me stop participating.
Yeah. No,
Because
that's
that's
good.
all I can control.
Yeah. Yeah.
But bet you won't ping me again. Or you can, but you won't get a response.
Exactly. Guess what?
So what I try to do to set that precedence is I will only respond to your, or I'll wait till the teams goes to the email because if you don't respond after so long, it'll
Yeah,
be like
it'll go,
a
yeah.
team member was trying to reach you.
Yeah.
So I respond to the email.
Yeah.
Oh wow. No, that's definitely good. That's that work culture boundary setting, which is good.
And then like if I'm on late trying to do something because I still need to staff up, child. But they'll
Oh.
be like, oh, I see you're on. Okay, if it's 9:00 at night, I'm on because I need to catch up. And you think you can ping me? Oh, I don't care if I'm green and it say red. You are not getting a response.
yeah, like whoa, no, we're
I'm
not about
online
to talk.
because I'm doing my stuff.
I'm doing me.
This is not even business hours, bro.
Exactly.
Like, what are you
It
doing?
literally is
I
not.
logged on Saturday morning because I'm like, oh, let me just clear out my inbox. So
Right.
And then like somebody people like, oh, hey, Brittany, I see you. I said, actually, I'm not. Put my status to
Girl,
away.
okay,
Girl.
yes. I change it to offline sometimes.
Yeah, that's our version of away. And
I'd
I'm
be
just
like, nope.
First of all, the audacity of you.
The
pinging me
audacity.
this time of morning.
Hey,
Girl.
bye.
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 Yes, that's definitely
No,
teacher
no.
code. You have to tell teachers, like, look, you got to disconnect. If it's not between like 8 and 4, like, stop responding because the school day's over. Like, why you still talking to parents at 9:00 at night?
Right.
Like, make it make sense. I'll see you and your kid at
Yeah,
8.
'cause if
Red's
not, that
office
parent,
hours are 9
Look,
to 5.
Listen,
because that parent gonna keep every day.
They
at
will.
9
Yes, they
if you
will.
don't. So that's why you better respond again between 8 and 4.
listen,
and leave it
and
be.
that's it. I learned that real quick in my teaching
It's
career.
an emergency.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're the parent. So guess who the emergency contact is?
Dun, dun,
It
dun.
happens to be you.
It's you. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
And that's what I be
Listen.
trying to tell myself. I be like, you know what? I actually do not have children.
Whew.
But for some reason,
People is calling me and wanting stuff. I'm like, what? You want me to stop?
right.
What I'm doing.
What I'm doing.
Girl, I learned that from you. Like now, when people are sending invite, can you attach an agenda?
Oh
Or
my
like
God.
one of the persons in my department, he loves to send you a ping. And hey, can we hop on a call? Is there
For
some?
what?
I said, is there something specific? Is it not something that can be included in the email? Because then I don't want to hear the backstories and about your weekends and your friends. What do you
Right,
want?
exactly.
Because-
Because you disrupted my flow.
Right. What we need is a 3-sentence email. I don't need to be on a call for you for 30 minutes. Because
Exactly.
you say it's going to be quick and it's not.
It's
and
not.
I know you don't have to do all this work because you're higher up, but I actually have stuff I have to get done by the end of the day. So no.
And that's what I learned too, is as far as like just managing your day. Like I map out my goals and I do them first. Whatever else other people want to get done, honey, that's your priority. So if I get to it, great. And guess what? I'm more productive if I put my stuff first. Because for the most part, you can knock out your actual work in like a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else throughout the day is like reactive or preventative or something long-term strategic that you take an incremental steps towards. So it's like,
And it's funny, like when I started realizing that people recognize the boundaries, because we got on a call and it's like, all right, y'all, come on, y'all know Brittany don't like small talk. Like,
Y'all picked up on that, huh?
it's
Good.
funny though, but and that shows me too that, you know, a lot of our communication, and I said this before, I think it said that it's only like 7% verbal. So a lot of our communication is literally how we're reacting, how we respond, how we move, how we engage. So it's like, even though you may not have said this, but it's like, oh, but you always respond right away. So when you don't, I think it's okay to ping you because you ain't responding right away.
Yeah.
So now I'm a call, and you're like, I'm actually working. Well, you're not working on my stuff. Of course not, because I don't work for you, right? So it's like, but that's to the extent that we can control. That's how we engage. So,
No, that's definitely good. 'Cause, yeah, I definitely need to. Well, from school, like I'm pretty good about that. Like I'll put my do not disturb on, my sleep on. Like you not about to. But when I see like other notifications, like text notifications, like I'm still gonna check it because I hate notifications.
I hate notifications too.
I hate 'em.
Jesus
the
Christ.
thought of that number.
Man, I hate it. My emails
my
drive me
God.
crazy. Like
don't
I
wanna
hate
see
it.
And then when you got like, it'd be like 100 messages.
Yes.
And then you go to this one group chat. I said, so y'all was talking because it's only been 10 minutes. Why
Right.
are there 172
A lot of times
messages?
I'll just go through and clear them all and I won't even read because I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I missed it. I missed the
Right.
conversation.
I'm not
Like,
about to go through.
it don't even matter at this point.
I saw Jay Shetty. Y'all know him?
Who's that?
He is the guy on Facebook. He does a lot of reels and stuff. He did an interview with Will Smith. Big social media influencer, very thought-provoking, blah, blah, blah. He said something that I posted in our group, and in the Brunch with Bessie's Facebook group. It was like, most of us are worried about our perception of what we think people think about us. And I thought that was so amazing because it's like not what you actually think, but what I think you think. So a lot of our reactions and responses because I don't want you to think that I'm this way.
Yeah.
But it's like, honey, at 35 or however old we are, child, because who's counting?
Exactly.
I know who I am, and I literally do not give a damn what you think.
I don't
Because
give a F
it doesn't
or
change. What you think about me actually does not change who
who I am. Yeah, no.
But that comes from being grounded in who you are and knowing who that is. When you don't, what you think then determines how I react and how I move.
Or what
So,
I think you think.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I
what
actually
think
don't
you
even
think.
know,
But
right?
honestly, even what you think about me is based on your perception and your experiences. So it may not be nothing that I can do to change the way
Exactly.
that you think about me.
Exactly.
So, baby, like as my mom said, baby, they talked about Jesus. They're going to figure out something
Okay.
about
They
me.
gonna figure it out.
So why
okay?
I'm stressing about it, or just live your life.
Just live your life.
Just live your
Just live
life.
your life.
Hey, just live your life, because
Right.
you'll be done worried yourself to the bones. And look, ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. And
Life
it's-
is too short.
And that's true because there's certain, different people that you work with. If you only interact with them in a certain regard, you have a limited perception and you think a certain way about them.
Yeah.
But then if you actually got to know them, your whole perception may change, good or bad, right
Yeah,
or wrong,
absolutely.
up or down, negative, positive. Who cares?
Yeah.
You don't have. It's limited by the context. So, and half the time, people are gonna perceive you the way that they want to anyway. So.
Yay. Listen, and that's okay. Child. because that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your issue.
It's actually your business.
Exactly. That's you.
So
You
again,
mind it.
if I mind my
Exactly.
business,
Exactly. I'm
then
good.
it actually is no longer an issue.
Exactly. I'm minding mine. We're
So
good.
you can think whatever you want. But see, and that's the thing too, because I was forced into the whole like, okay, if it ain't no agenda, I can't, because I couldn't afford it. Like I literally didn't have the time. Like that was 2 roles ago, right?
Wow.
2 positions ago where my whole team had gotten slashed. And I was like, okay, I can't do 8 people's jobs. It's like not even possible. So the least you could do is tell me why we're meeting, because no, I don't have 15. Nope, I don't have the 15. If you can't tell me why we're meeting, and it's funny because I actually do that now. Like I don't even care what it could be, sorority, it could be whatever. Somebody from a connection from church had like reached out like, oh, can we have like 30 minutes to talk? And I was like, I don't see why. Like, are you going to explain to me why? Oh, it's just like they kind of made it really light and casual. And I said, no, I think I'm going to have to decline. Like, because if you can't articulate the why, then I'm not sure why I'm there. And I actually don't have time for this. I have 13 to 15 meetings a day. No, you cannot have 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think with just the world shutting down and Zoom and Teams and all these like video conferencing things popped off, like people have been out of control with their wants and needs and their time.
And then not only that, but people are on LinkedIn every day. Can I just have and people find a way to get into my inbox because they want to work with the company.
Yeah.
Can I just have 15? Can I just have 10? And I'd be like, I report them all to spam.
Listen, now y'all soliciting on LinkedIn.
Exactly. You soliciting. No. Protect your peace.
Please.
Right? Because guess what? I can actually control that.
Yeah.
Upon further review.
Yeah.
Right?
People have been wild. Like, can we just meet? Can we hop on this Zoom? Can we hop on this call?
But she wanted to meet in person. And I was like,
hell
no.
Now you really doing it.
And I don't even know why.
You want me to put on clothes?
What I'm trying to communicate to you is that my time is valuable, right? So, and I believe anybody. And see, my love language, one of them is time spent.
Yeah.
Right. So I really value people's time.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna waste mine.
Yeah.
So if I value other people's time, I'm darn sure gonna value mine. So if you can't tell me why we're meeting, that's why when people send over a meeting invitation, especially if I don't even know who they are, I don't even know what department you in, you just, I heard blah blah blah. Okay, why are we meeting? Because you just want me to be here. I'm not here at your ready.
Not at all. Oh my gosh, that's a big no. You talking about meet in person?
Part of your initiative, not mine.
Not at all.
So I suggest we get some alignment.
Jesus. All right. Okay. Well, we are cutting down to the wire. We do have a few more minutes. Do we want to do another card?
We can try.
Okay,
we'll see where it goes.
Let's try to do another card. Ooh.
I don't like it already.
Okay, what do you think is the difference between fixing and healing?
She said we is winding down, and this is the question she want to pull out.
Well,
Fixing
give it your
and
best
healing.
shot.
Hit me
Fixing,
with your best shot.
healing versus fixing.
Fixing is definitely band-aiding, like just kind of patching up, but not really like taking out your toolbox and really getting in there and setting up the foundation right and a whole overhaul. I think is healing, but fixing is just like I'm gonna just put this patch on, shed a few tears, and keep it moving, and that's it.
Yeah, I think fixing may be more of I'm gonna fix that particular symptom, but not get to the actual root of the problem. So I can fix that thing, and then I feel like I actually did something and made a change, but baby, that was only a symptom of what was happening anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, you fixed that thing, but then now another thing popped up because you haven't gotten to the root of the problem. So, and when you fix something, it can break again. And I know that healing is a journey and it's not complete, but healing is a process where you're learning tools and things along the way. So while I may have been healed from one thing, I may have to heal from another thing, but I have healed that part or where I was in that space. If I experience something like that again, maybe it may require healing, but it's different because now I have the tools and I'm not starting from scratch. I've worked through this before, so yeah, this sucks and it's hard and it hurts, but I know how to work through it again.
Yeah. No, I agree with what both of y'all are saying. And obviously, I don't have a right or wrong answer, right? It's an open-ended question, but I think that I think fixing lacks process. I think fixing lacks evolution. I think fixing means it's functional, meaning I can use it.
Yeah.
I can go on, but fixing also could still mean suffering. I think healing, it cleans out the suffering. like you said, Brittany, I think it gets to the root. I think it requires the evolution of how I've evolved, how have I learned from whatever it is that hurt me, right? So that when I get into this situation again, I'm actually better. So now I'm actually, because it's not that stuff won't break, but now I literally know the how, and I understand the why.
Yeah.
And like you said, like it's not when I get into this situation again, I now have these principles and I can kind of apply these steps, or I may not even get as deep in a situation because I've been through this. Now I'm gonna notice the red flags as they come up, as opposed to before. 6 years in, it's like, and now I reflect back and I notice that I have now healed. So that thing that you do, that doesn't feel good to me. So the first time you do it, oh, I remember this don't feel good.
Yeah.
We're not even going to go down this
We
path.
don't even need to, because I know how this
Yeah.
ends.
Because
Yeah, I think fixing allows for the cycle to continue.
I was just thinking that. I think that's the
Baby.
part. Like you think you healed, but you probably just fixed
You
something,
fixed
and
it.
it's gonna uncover itself again because that wound is not fully
And I think that we
Yeah.
do a lot of
Yeah.
fixing
and call it
right?
healing.
And call it healing. Because we want to be done, we want to move on, we want to move forward. But then the evidence that you have not healed is when it happens
Yeah,
again.
that pattern shows
Yeah.
right back on up. Yeah.
So now you got to look, now it's on you, because look, fool me once.
yeah,
Shame on you. But baby, when you fool me twice, now I got to be responsible
Yeah.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
fix
Because
it.
I can't even blame you this time, because
No.
you showed it to me twice. So now it's on me.
It's
now
on
I
you.
have to do,
Shows you who they
look, believe them.
Believe
the
them.
first time, right?
Yes.
fixing maybe that outer stuff. I can make it look
I'll
pretty,
make
and I
it
can
look
do
pretty.
that. Healing is when I've done the internal stuff. I know that this is good. It doesn't just look good on the outside. It actually works. You can have a little pretty display
It's deep.
cabinet, and stuff,
Yeah,
but I
it's
I
deep.
touch it once and everything falls
It's
apart. But it
molded.
looked
Yes.
it looked like it was ready.
Yeah.
And it looked
It's that
good.
surface is that fixing, that surface level.
Yeah.
But healing is you got to dig deep. It's layers and layers on layers.
Yeah, fixing is like, well, what do we got to do just to continue?
Yeah, to keep
Like,
going.
what are the minimum requirements
Yeah.
to just
Go.
keep going,
Yeah.
right? Until we land right back here in the same spot, broken. And now it hurts even worse because you already seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you mad.
Now you mad.
And then you mad at yourself, I would assume.
Well, now it's almost like self-sabotage.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's like, well, I already knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am again.
Yeah.
How did I get here yet again?
How did I do it? Yeah.
And I think then we go back to that. Do I trust myself?
Yeah.
Do I
ooh,
trust
yeah.
myself?
Because I knew this and I proceeded anyway.
Yes.
So baby, you got what you got.
You got what you asked for. You got what you ordered.
You got what you ordered. Yes.
Because I already know what it is.
Yep.
I already knew the stove was hot, but I had to touch it.
Ooh,
And
it's
only
hot.
you
Listen.
can prevent forest fires.
Ooh, man. I'm like, definitely, I'm feeling it. I'm like, yes, I'm about to shout. Because when you date the same person over and over and over again, it's like, all right. I synced it. I synced it coming. And here I am.
But I think fixing is easy because it's comfortable.
yeah.
And it's like, sometimes you just want to look past like all the red flags, all the warning signs, whatever someone showed you, whatever you showed you.
Yeah.
Right? Like you want to just move past it because you're in a point you're comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're like, I actually don't want to change. I don't want you to like I just want to move forward.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the quick fix, the easy. It's easy and it's quick and, you know.
Pastor Keon said, I was listening to him earlier today. This is the guy that's married to
Shawnee.
Shawnee O'Neal. And he was like, people
Well,
only
what's their last name now? Henderson?
I don't know, child.
I don't know. I think it's Henderson.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was like, people only change when staying the same hurts them. Not when it hurts you.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, yes.
Because people can see this sometimes and they'll be like, I'm sorry and I love you and I love you. And it's like, do you? Because I don't like how you love.
Listen, until it hurts
You
them.
know, but when it
that's
hurts them.
Yes.
That's when they'll change.
Yeah. That's when it's like,
when,
oh, no.
when the pain of staying the same hurts more than the pain of changing.
Yes.
Then they'll do that. But,
Right.
Which is why a lot of people are not changing until their back is against the wall. No one is willfully like, let me go through the fire. Yay, I love it here. It's
Our hope is that people will
Yeah.
because they aspire to heal and be a better version of themselves. But nothing gets you moving like pain.
Listen,
Okay.
but I think people just look at the fire and they don't look at what comes out the other side of the fire. So the fear is a fire, but
What if I die?
But not even learning that how much better it would be on the other side of the
Okay.
fire.
Yes.
It's
Listen.
the thought of going through that fire.
What if you come out renewed and a new person?
Like, what if it don't work? But what if it?
But
does?
what if it does? Yeah.
When Lydia was on, and I can't think of the name of this exercise, but it's like, I'm gonna say it's like a Japanese vase. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, okay, where you break it
You
and
break
piece it
it,
together.
you like
Yeah.
break it,
Yeah.
right? And then you put it back together, but with gold.
Yeah.
So the gold is what's bonding it. So it's actually more
Beautiful,
valuable,
yeah.
more beautiful. It's like so amazing when it's done, but it has to go through the process of being broken.
That's good. All right. Well, we're coming down.
I'm
I
just
know, right? No. We are coming down to our last few minutes. So anybody want to say something real quick? Got like 10 seconds
Okay.
before we're
To-go
off
box.
air. Okay,
Yeah,
to go
my
box.
God.
Go. Definitely don't fix. You want to heal. Don't do the quick fix because you got to go deep.
My to-go box. We're worth the effort.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah.
Ditto to both. Thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties. Until next time, peace. Okay,
I'm in